Hello, my beautiful crafty friends. It's Laurette, the vintage paper girl. Welcome to my studio. I'm very happy you're here with me today. I am working on a new design team project. Well, it's a guest design team project for, can you guess? Can you guess? Do you know? Can you guess? Well, it's the paper cameo. Yep, I'm doing one for Nicola. Hi, Nicola. And I have a number of pieces. Got so excited because I just love this kit. So right up my alley. So I've started some projects, and what I thought I'd do, I need to make some ephemera for this particular piece. So I thought I'd bring you along to make ephemera with me. Of course, you can make pieces for your own, use them as a stack your stash, or whatever you'd like to do. So how is everybody? Are you good? I hope so. I hope everybody's good and healthy and enjoying their summer. It's 80 plus degrees today. I'm filming this on Sunday, I believe, for Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday. Probably Tuesday. And it's sunny. There's a slight breeze coming up. Hopefully they're supposed to be 80 for a couple days, and then usually what happens is it brings in the coastal fog and we cool down. So fingers crossed that's what happens. But anyway, I have the air conditioner on, so I should be okay in here. A lot of times I close the door. Oof, it gets a little warm. And I usually have on my little fuzzy slippers, but you know what? I think I'm going to kick these off. And because my feet are hot, and if my feet are hot, I'm hot. Does that happen to you guys? If your feet are cold, you're cold. If your feet are hot, you're hot. So I'm working on this project. I'm going to be using some laces, you know. You guys love it when I use lace. I haven't used a lot of lace recently. I'm hoping to use this. We'll see. I don't know if I love that so much. And I can't remember if I have more of it. I have to look in my big stash, my big stash, and see if it's there. But I want to make a piece, and this is the project. Now the new kit is called Tea Rose by the Paper Cameo. And there is so much in this. It's a beautiful kit, and I don't have it all because, as usual, I have torn it all up. So what I could do is I could show you like some of the, like there's an envelope that's in the kit. There's lots of beautiful itty bitty little, I made my own butterflies, so ignore that part. There's lots of itty bitty little bits of ephemera, you know, to use. Got corners and, oh, yum. And little pieces like that. Okay, so you have those, right? And then a lot of what I have here is things I just cut up from another piece. You know, I cut out a piece and then I had leftovers. So we have that. And I wish I could show it to you in sheets because, like I said, it's all cut up and I'm working with it. But I'll show you whatever I have that's available. Now I printed it on a couple different kinds of paper like I always do. Again, this is Tea Rose. And this is Tea Rose. Let me move. Let's see if I can. There. So I have a little more room. Okay, let me see if we're in. Are we in? Yes, we are. I just never know. So, all right. It's sort of a dusty rose mauve color, but oh, gorgeous. Look at this. This actually might all be here. I don't think this I printed on the cotton linen Southworth printer paper. And I love it. Look at this. Yum. Wait till you see all the things I do with this. Or I am doing with this, actually. If I show you the page more than once, forgive me, because I have lost track of, yeah, that's that piece you saw, of what, yeah, I think the whole kit's here. Ooh, we got lucky. I haven't cut into any of this. Isn't this gorgeous? Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, it's the ephemera I have. Well, I cut out all the pieces on the 32-pound printer paper, and I also printed it on 48-pound cardstock to do some of the projects I'm doing. So, yeah, I've got it printed on a bunch. The different papers you print it on, the different looks you'll get. You could print it on something that is like a parchment color, and that'll make it even darker and more yummy if you like the dark look. This is some of the ephemera. I'll show you what I do have. Some of it's double cut. I've got the cards and the tags, and they're big tags, which is great for the project I'm doing, by the way. Now, you could, of course, print these smaller. If you want them smaller, oh, there's that, but it's printed on the back. This was another one of the envelopes. This is one of the envelopes. That's a back. Oh, it's because this is boxes. So this is the bottom of the box and the top of the box. So what I've done is print it on the back. So top and bottom, so we can make those boxes like I made for the last project I did for her. And then this is the bottom and the top of the other box, the lid and the base. So, and then they're printed on the back. So everything's double printed for the boxes. And then there are more things, but this is like the most I can show you at the moment because, like I said, I am in the middle of creating all kinds of goodies and, you know, but you'll see it as I'm using it too. So what I have created is this wonderful, giant pocket. And what it is I have a pocket here. This is a big pocket up here. It opens up. Now, this here, for those of you who don't know, this is 10 inches by 8. So it's 8 by 10. Now you can make this much smaller. And then you open it up and you have the inside, and we have a pocket here, we have another pocket here, and we have another big pocket up here. So we have 4 pockets. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and the lace pocket is 5. Now I will be adding more to this because I want to decorate it up more. So what I'm working on right now are bits and pieces to go in these. Now I've used a little, if you could see, can you see this little, I cut, instead of a thumb notch, it's kind of a flower shape. So I've used that as my thumb notch to get into the large pocket. And you will see that this pocket is printed, oops, that was the other thing, on both sides. So that when you're putting things in and out, which those giant tags will work very, very well in this. So I'm working on filling this up. And let me pull out my laces. I have some laces I want to use here. So I'm going to pull these out too. I've got all kinds of laces, but I did try to go through a lot of them before the video. So, and I have more projects to fill with, you know, so, and I have a couple of other, I've got a project here using the envelope. So we'll see what we get through, what I share with you today. I want to make this a set, so I'm working on all kinds of bits and pieces. Those are the file folders we sell in the, in the shop, and this is kind of a dusty rose. Husband made me a lovely brunch, but my stomach doesn't seem to enjoy it. So I'm going to move those off the desk because we need the space. This one, I'll take off the desk for now. I think I've got, well, I'm going to put it up in front of me because I need the colors. I want to make sure I stay in the colorway I'm using. There are bright pieces, and I didn't use a lot of the really bright pieces. I used more of this mauve-y color. So, and on this one, the pocket, it has the scallops. So I'm going to flip it over so I don't damage the scallops. I have added, oh, let me stand up here. Oh, I used a little gold lace. I took that one ribbon that we sell. Lace we sell. And that's this one. Here, I don't remember what it's named. But I cut it all apart. And I used it on the cover here. So you'll see I used it here. I cut it up and used it there. I used it here. This is an applique. And then I used some bits and bobs so that you could see the dimension here. In fact, I just had to reorder some of them. I had a hard time finding this anywhere, but I did find it finally. Paid an arm and a leg for it, but I love it and I use it all the time. I use that gem, so it's one of my favorites to use. But I don't mind it because it's on the cover of a project. Isn't this just cool? I just love this. So we do have to do decorating the pockets there. But I have to ask myself, do I want to put decorations here? Do I want to put lace here or here? Do I want to add a pocket to the back? You know, because I already have these big pockets I've got to fill. So I'm hoping everything I make can go in here, right? So this is going to become our kind of our storage folder. Now, there's a bunch of ways to make this, but I did not do a video on it. I think you can figure it out. You know, it's really simple to do. And if I get a million requests for it, I may show it in a video. I don't know. Maybe I will. But what I've done is to go with this kit, I have gone through some of her other kits, Romance and, let me see, Decadence. I felt like there were bits and pieces in these that would look well with this kit. So that's what I'm going to use for the project I'm going to make right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a lovely page here that you can stick in there. Now, what I usually end up when I'm making one of these folios or folders or booklets or whatever you want to call them, large booklet folder, is the pieces that I make are, you could go get the kit and take the pieces and put them in your journal. Just don't sell the pieces as yours. You know, don't say they're all yours, but you're welcome to decorate a journal with it. And this helps you get a start up if you wanted to make something with this kit. So I don't know if that made sense. Anyway, I have already taken a piece of 8.5 by 11. I had to trim it because, you know, I have white edges. And I've printed it on both sides. This is a writing side, and this is more your decorative side. I've taken a large envelope, and it is 7.25 by, it's 5 by 7. Basically, it's 5 by 7 or 5 by 7.25. And because it fits the full size, I've trimmed the edges here. Now, I feel like there's two things that I could use on this. One is the vintage photo distress ink. The other, which I really like with this, is the distress ink Victorian velvet. And I think both of them play super nicely with this color. If you use the Victorian velvet, you gotta be careful. Don't like get too heavy-handed with it because we don't want it to look too red, but I do like the pinky color of it. Darn it. And I went and got heavy-handed there. Oh well, that's okay. But it's what I'm going to use to finish my edges, and I'm going to do that before I do any gluing. So here we go. You can print on both sides. You can use scrapbook paper is great for this. So anything double-sided, but you want to make sure you could kind of write on it. If you can't, then just put in glue on a plain sheet of paper to write on. I think this would be okay to write on. If I get any scraps, I'll test it out, but I'm pretty sure it's okay to write on. So the next time I cut something out, and this is on the back side, I will double check to make sure it's writable. And I just want to, I'm using the Victorian velvet, but you can use either one or both. Sometimes I use both. If I feel like I need to bring up the brown a little on something, then I'll use the vintage photo. Okay. Let me move these off to the side. Let me get... All right. Then you want to take your envelope and you've got a flap. And what you want to do is you're going to want to put your flap over about center, I guess. Top or bottom, whatever you want. I'm going to put it in the center. Over, and we're going to create a little pocket here. But I probably am going to want this decorated. So I don't have any scraps yet. So I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to look for something to do where I could make this a little tuck pocket, and then you could write on the rest. But it's the only way we can put this on. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to decorate this up before I glue it down. You know, I always say that. So that's going to go on there. So I want to make sure where my opening is going to go. And I'm pretty sure I want to put this gal here on there. And she is from the Romance kit from the Paper Cameo. And I want to see... I don't know if I want the writing or if I want to maybe fussy cut around her and then put a background on there. That may be what I'm going to do. Because I don't know that I want the writing, right? I think I don't. So instead of running to Bertha, I want to see what I can do. Bertha's my, for those of you who are new, Bertha's my big guillotine cutter. She's very old. She's actually from the 70s. Okay. Can you believe we think that's old these days? Yikes. Okay, so I said this was 5, didn't I? I want to see what my... 5.5. So I want this to be 5.5. And if you're wondering about my other project, I am still working with it. That looks too big. No, I think that's right. I'm still working on my other design, guest design team project for the other ladies, for Sue and Jan. But many times I will work on 2 at the same time. Sometimes I lose my mojo on one. I'm going along and then I just go flat, and that's what happened. So I thought, well, let me work on this one a little bit. Then, you know, hopefully I'm ready to go back to the other one. Now I want to cover this. Yeah, it was too long. Oh, well, that's all right. I don't mind cutting it off. Actually, that would work really well. Let me do that. Let's get I actually need to move my laces a little bit. Let me get a board. Oh, shoot, I forgot to take them to the sink and clean them. Shame on me. I know I have one that I haven't used. Here we go. Here's a clean one. Or barely anything on it. I think I'm going to use glue stick. I was so happy. Amazon had my glue sticks on Prime, and they were on sale big time. They were I think they were almost 50% off. So I went and got the pack of 4 so that I really didn't need them, but I wasn't going to pass up that price. Because, I mean, I do use it. Let me get a wipe. It's just so I don't have to switch out boards every 5 minutes. Let me do that, like that. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I need to get all the way to the edge, which is why I chose to use glue stick today. Oh, I need to get to the top too. I really don't want the envelope showing if I can help it. Now, I prefer a longer, you know, my long bone folder. I have a variety of sizes, and we do have a beginner's journal kit with stuff like that in it. If you're brand new to this and you want to get some tools, we do have those in our shop as well, which is Design Journal and Supply on Etsy. There is a direct link in our drop-down box. So if you need that and you need some supplies, or you're new and you don't have some of the things that we use, like the glue bottles and the tips and the eraser, the glue eraser, and we have that. And then we have this, and I forget the other shape. There's a couple of shapes. Let's see. Oh, maybe I'll keep that. I don't know. All right. So there we are. Now, I think before I put her on, I am going to go ahead and pull another paper. And I'm going to cut this one too. It's easier if you, when you don't have a long, like an 8, this only goes to 6 feet, and I've got it actually marked to 7 to the very edge. But it's a lot easier if you just cut the sides off and then you cut it down the middle if you can. But if you need the whole sheet, then yeah, I have to go to my other cutter, which I don't want to bring over here. It's too awkward. It's heavy. It's not, like people said, oh, it's not as big as I thought. Well, it is and it isn't, right? So what I want to do, I want to figure out how long I need. Which I do know that because I just said, didn't I? I don't like to measure and cut, but I'm going to. This one's 5 1/4, I think. Which end do I want to use? I think this one. Yeah, maybe this one. There, I'm finally getting some scraps, right? And what I want to do, I want to make sure I get this the right side up. Okay. I thought that this would look okay with that, right? Oh, I don't know. What do we think? It's really not the right color. The other one I was thinking about putting over here, which I think would look good with it, is, and this is from Decadence, is this one. I thought, when it's open, I thought this would look better maybe next to that. Yeah, I do. I think that would look better. So maybe we'll do this one. That's okay. You cut it and you go, ooh, I don't like that. And you don't know, I mean, my videos are processes, how I do things. Not everybody does it the same way I do. And so you learn different ways to do things from different people, and saves you some shortcuts, because a lot of times you get lost in your crafting and you're afraid to do anything. And so this hopefully will help you have a little more confidence when you're doing stuff. I hope I just didn't get these mixed up. I'm trying to keep the kits straight because I need to put them back into their boxes when I'm done, into their pouches, so I don't want them all mixed up, right? Okay. And then I need to get rid of, what am I doing? I don't even know right now. Okay. I have to decide, where do I want to cut off? What do I want to cut off? I know I want to get rid of this white. And I'm going to get rid of a little bit of that border. I'm not saving that. I don't want to lose a lot of that top either. So what I'm going to do is I'll glue it on up here and cut it down there. That'll work. Okay. Now, there is a trick to this so that you don't close your envelope if you want to use it as a pocket. Now, I can just glue it to here and keep this open, or I can go like this and cut it down the side. So I'm debating, I think that's probably what I'm going to do. It's so much easier. I'm trying to stick things here through when it's right close to the fold. Oh, it's warm in here. Oof. Working up a sweat, even with the air conditioner on. It's a warm day. 80 degrees in an upstairs two-story house is a lot. Now, one thing I have to do is to close this here without closing it here so that you can use the whole pocket, is to put a line of glue, which I haven't used in days. I did not craft yesterday. Had one of my lovely you-know-whats, so I didn't sleep well the night before, so I didn't craft yesterday. I watched a Tim Holtz video with Heidi from Simon Says Stamps, and they did a Christmas in July video, which I absolutely loved. And they put out a kit, which some of you may have seen it over on Gail's channel, those who follow both of us. But the kit was a one-time thing. It was strictly for the class, for those who were taking the class, which I did take the class, but I didn't buy the kit because I already owned every bit of what was in the kit. And I decided I was going to be smart and not spend the money, right? I just was not going to have a, because I bought so much last year thinking I was going to do Merry Mondays, which for those of you who don't know, every Monday for the last 2 years, not this year, but 2 years before, I made Christmas items on a Monday. I would make regular and Christmas every Monday so that I could have a huge stash. So by the time last Christmas came, I had enough to fill a journal that was, I don't know, 4 inches 3 giant signatures. And so I did not do it this year. I was pretty burned out by the time Christmas, and then I made a ton of journals for sale at Christmas and projects, and so I did not do it this year. I did not. I had every intention of doing Merry Mondays every Monday, but I just didn't do it. I just was so burned out. I just could not make myself do it. So, when I saw that they were going to do a Monday Christmas, or do a Christmas class, I decided to take it. But what I was saying, sorry guys, I completely lost where I was. Brain shut off. Sorry about the ums too. I'm struggling with words today. Sorry about that. Let's see. Honestly, I had nightmares last night, horrible nightmares. And I was dreaming about my mom. It was really bad. She died many years ago of cancer, so yeah, the dreams were pretty rough. But anyway, what I was saying was that I didn't sleep well last night, so I woke up with a headache, and my legs hurt because I had a really busy day yesterday, and I'll explain that later. So I'm a little slow today, but I'm always slow, so I figured, well, do the video anyway, Laurette. I mean, otherwise they're not going to get a video this week. And I need to work on this project, and I love this project, and I'm having a great time with it, so... Forgive the ums and the loss of words. What was I talking about? Oh, the Christmas. So I watched the Tim Holtz all day yesterday morning for 3 hours. It was on the Simon Says Stamps on their YouTube channel, not on Tim Holtz's YouTube channel. So because he was helping them promote the kit that he and Heidi put together for it. I didn't buy the kit, but that's why I watched it, because I knew I had all the stuff, and they made 4 fabulous projects, which I have all the stuff for. So I'm very excited to do that. So I'm thinking maybe this coming Saturday, since we only have a few more days of July left, that I might do some of the projects on Saturday as a Christmas in July to kind of start off. I don't know if I'm going to do Christmas this year. I'm very undecided if I'm going to do any journals. I've invested so much in Christmas. Oh my gosh, I almost have to, because I just got all those supplies to do the Merry Monday, and I didn't do Merry Monday. That was the whole point of that. Geez, that was a long way around. Sorry about that. My gosh, I went all the way around the moon and back again. I truly did. Okay, now I'm going to open this, right? So what I'll do is we've got... The envelope is closed here, but you'll see it still. That's covered. That's covered. I'm going to put an image on there in a minute, because we always need an image. I want to cut open this in, but I'm going to do it on my paper cutter. Normally I'll do it with scissors, but I felt like it was going to have to be the cutter. So what you got now is this big old pocket. See, and it opens all the way. You can probably see the white paper. Let me stand up and see if you can see it. See that white paper down there? We didn't glue that down. Otherwise, it would have only opened a little ways. It wouldn't have opened all the way. So that's why we just did that little bit of glue. Now, as this dries, it will also have a very nice feel to it. I'm using my hands, for those of you who know, since they're warm, and I'm very warm right now, to give it some... It heats it up. Heats up the glue that's cold because the air conditioner is on, but I'm warm. Before I do any inking, which I like to do, you do not have to ink. It is totally up to you. I like it because it's part of the art. These are 2 of the inks that, if you're going to invest, that I would get. If you're going to get some, and if you like blue, I would get this one, which is Speckled Egg, Victorian Velvet, Vintage Photo. And if you like pink, Spun Sugar. And this is an oxide, which is very different. These are water-based. An oxide is very creamy. It takes longer to dry, but I do love it in the pink. So I don't know if this comes in Distress ink. I can't remember. Maybe it didn't. Maybe that's why I don't have it. I don't know. I never looked. You know, it's funny. I just asked myself that question, and I didn't have an answer. Don't know. All right. Yes, I turn my pads over, and I put, it keeps your, whatever dauber you're using from rolling around on your desk, because it's got a little cup there, right? And this way it's not rolling around my desk. And I keep my pad stored upside down to keep the ink to come to the top of the pad. That way it stays wet. And of course they'll tell you, oh, you don't need to do that. But sure, you buy right in and you'll be replacing your ink pad tomorrow. Now, if you have ink pads that maybe you bought a long time ago, you haven't used them, they've been sitting around, you think, oh, I need to get new ones. Spritz them with a bit of water first before you do that. Spritz this pad and turn it over, let it set a bit, and check it. And I'll bet you that it has, because it is water activated, it has revived itself and is now usable. So give it a shot before you go replacing your ink pad. Then the other thing is there are refills, which I do all of the time, and I fill it up with the ink. Tim Holtz calls this giving a spa day. I take a solid card, that's a credit card style, and as you put the ink on, you scrape it back and forth to get it even all over, and of course wipe that off. Put your lid on, leave it for a while, not a long time, but just a few minutes, and then your pad is completely inked all the way around. And the proper way to use your ink is to put it in a circle. Do not dab it. Tim just said that in his video again. So he says it's better for the ink pad, and it is better for disbursement of ink on your projects. Okay, and you get more even ink. People say, oh, I get, my ink daubers not consistent. Now, these daubers are custom made by Clint at, shoot, I always forget the name. If I can remember, I'll let you know. But they're out there. If you want one, let me know and I'll look it up for you. Okay, so now I have this pocket is ready. It's going to hook here. We're going to glue it here and here. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get my image ready. I had not planned to fussy cut, so don't get frustrated. I have to do this because I just feel like I'm going to cut off a lot of this excess, and then I'll do the detail cut in just a minute, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just kind of leave it as it is. Now I can use these words. I could break them up and change them. I didn't do a real great job there, so yeah, that's not. No, I won't throw this away because I may want to use these words for something, so we'll hang on to that. We will toss this. Okay. Let me get I got these new little scissors. These are called Beady Time, Beaditime. So they are super sharp. I like the tiny little points. This is the best, absolutely the best fussy cutting scissors I have ever had, except for the ones that were my mom's vintage embroidery scissors. So I am totally in love with these. You get 2 pair for the price of 1. And in fact, I love them so much. I gave my daughter, 1 pair was purple, 1 was pink. Her favorite color was purple. I gave her the purple pair. I kept the pink, but there's a good chance I'm going to buy them again because they are so fabulous. They were on Amazon Prime, and I probably should have grabbed them. I bought so much stuff on Amazon Prime. He had a huge pile at my door. The guy could barely get up the walkway. Well, my husband was shopping too. We replaced things and got some things we needed, and and I got stuff for the shop. Well, not the shop, but for here. I don't think I bought anything for the shop. Sometimes I do. I buy stuff and put it in the shop, But I don't get a lot on Amazon for the shop. So once in a blue moon, there'll be something that they have that I think, oh, we should, I can get it in bulk because we have a business account with them. So I always think, well, they'll sell something. They have to sell it in bulk or we can't do it because the prices are too high. Otherwise, we use other suppliers. I am cutting around her feathered hat. I want to get rid of that little point that was on the top of her head. Hopefully I'm doing a good job with this fussy cut. Yeah, I know it's a little tedious to look at, but we could chit chat. Oh, so what did I do yesterday? Yesterday was Saturday. Oh, yes. So after lunch, because, it took me a while to get my mids to work once they were working, I went outside with my hubby into the garage. Now, I have a workbench out there. I couldn't even get to my workbench. We had so many empty boxes, shipping boxes from Etsy, Amazon, our supplier, all kinds of, just hundreds of them. So we broke them down, put them in the recycle because the garbage man comes tonight, or tomorrow morning, technically, Monday morning. So we got that all ready to go, and that cleaned up a huge amount of space. I could actually sort of get to my workbench, and I decided which ones I wanted to keep to use because we do recycle. We put them in our recycle bin. They don't go in the garbage. And then we also use them, to ship things. I use them to ship a journal or whatever. Now, there she is on that. Isn't she pretty? What do we think? Do you guys like that? I'm going to stand up. Yeah, she's pretty on there. I'm trying to decide if I want anything behind her. I have bunches of snow and pretty. Oh, I have this stuff. It's supposed to be mauve, but I don't know. We have this in the shop, and I love it. Sparkle net. I was thinking about putting some of that behind her. Not all the way over the whole thing, but just a little bit to bring up the sparkle. Or I can use Laurette's favorite, which is over in the vintage Paper Girl section. I have my favorite gold, which I don't think I want to use gold. I'm actually going to use that one. Oh, yeah, Jolene just put a bunch in the shop, all kinds of different, because we use these year round. We don't just use the snow in the winter. We use it all the time. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to figure out my top and my bottom. Yeah. And I'm going to, first things first, I'm going to cut it. And I don't care how straight it is because, and I have tons of this. Oh my goodness, I do. Big old bolt of it. So, I don't have to be too precious with it, but I will put it back in the package. Now, let me see. Now I'm going to cut up the side a bit. Oop. Cut off the corners. That was not a good corner cut. Goodness, these are not the best scissors for that, for sure. They've gotten dull. They were my sharp scissors. Now they're my dull scissors because I've been using them quite a bit lately. And now these are my favorites. They cut fabric and everything so beautifully, and they really are going to be good for paper, but I hate to just dull them out yet. They're not, the blades aren't as thick and they're not as heavy as some of the others, which is nice because sometimes they're just too heavy to use. They just make my hands tired too fast. And with all the arthritis and everything that I have, it's like, ugh, Yes. Oh, goodness, that's going to be pretty. All right, now, I like to put my netting and my cheesecloth on with glue stick. And I like these Scott permanent glue sticks. I highly recommend these. I cannot, any place where you live that it's very dry, you do not want those other ones with the blue lid because they dry too fast and you don't get a good stick. What happens is it dries and then it ends up peeling up because it dried before it got a chance to adhere. Even today, with it being as hot as it is, I have got to get this on here ASAP. I usually have quite a bit of time. I recommend you use either a cloth or if you don't want a lot of glue on your hands, hold on a minute, let me grab it. Pardon my arm there. I have a little spatula that I use that doesn't, it's a silicone spatula that the glue doesn't stick to. So it lets me do my thing. There we go. And then if I have glue, that's where I don't want it, I can just mop it up with my dry wipe. And then we can put her on. Oh yeah, that's pretty. I don't know if you could see. Let me see. I'm going to move her over a little bit. See it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we'll put some probably real lace on there too. I thought I was going to use, where to go, this piece on there, but I don't see me, I don't know. I don't see me using that. So, you know, you get an idea in your head, but you never know what's going to happen, right? I don't think I need quite so many tools. I've got quite a stash going here. Okay. Oh, let's do fabric tack for this. Hopefully it's warm today, so I'm hoping. I refilled my glue, but sometimes it just seals itself. You know what? I'm gonna get a drink of water for a minute. Oh, excuse me. It's dry when it's hot and the air conditioner is on, and my voice is really raspy today. I don't know what that's about. Allergies, probably. Air conditioner allergies, probably. Oh, we've got all these goodies we can clean up for a minute. I'm letting stuff dry, so just give me a minute. And trying to warm up that glue a little bit. It's in my lap, which, because I'm warm, is quick. We have the windows open at night, which the temp drops enough, I guess. I don't know. All right. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm hoping that'll come out easy now. Yes. That's what I want to see. And let's get some glue on this girl. She's so pretty. I love the images that Nicola chose for both of these kits. All three of these kits. Absolutely love them. There we go. And I kind of moved her off to the side. So if I wanted to put something up there from one of the kits, some wording. Oh, the other thing I grabbed, which she has. Where is it? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Here it is. They're on the floor next to me. She has this gorgeous kit of labels. Look at this. So I can use any of this with this. So, and I may, because this is from the Paper Cameo. So I'm using 4 different kits here. And you don't have to just use one kit. And I always, you know, when I'm doing a design project, if I can find things by the same designer in my stash, because I've bought all these, then I will. Because I want to show you how you can mix and match all her kits, how far you can stretch everything. You can make so many really cool things by mixing and matching. It doesn't really want to stick to this netting. It will. It's just, I need to burnish it down to make it bond. There we go. Is it bonding? Yes, it's bonding. All right. Let's see. Do I want to? No, I don't think I do. Okay. Now I can use real pearls on here. I can use stickles, and this is going to be a stunner piece, right? For real. So we'll check time in a minute to see where we're at. I'm going to move this mat. And just a little bit. Okay. Oh, she's so pretty. Yeah, I'm it takes a bit to get it to adhere to something like this. I'm hoping between the glue stick and that, it's going to hold. Yes. Oh, she's gorgeous. I'm loving it. Now, this has a, I don't want this to come off, so I don't know. I think it should be okay. I don't think I'll have to cover it. I worry that if I go to stick something in here, it's going to bump into this here. Well, we'll just hope it's going to stick. Because I'm not gluing it down, I'm just gluing it down on the sides to make it a tuck pocket. We're trying to get as much, sorry, this is where it goes. Yeah, oh, I had the wrong place. Bet you were telling me, Laurette, no, not there. This is going to be a tuck pocket, so I'm going to just use, I'll use a pretty good size amount of glue on here. Okay. And I've kind of centered it a little bit. I like it in the middle. Use the end of your bone folder to burnish. You can use the whole thing on its side. That's a good way to do it when you're trying to cover a huge amount of paper. Oh, pretty. I'm in love. Now I am going to, this also works on fabric, so I'm going to stick a little art glitter glue under here. It dries clear. It doesn't dry shiny, so if it squeezes out, it's no biggie. Okay. All right. Okay. Ooh, that is so pretty. I actually have gems in this color, so we may be doing some pretty sparkles on there too. And okay, so we have the inside, which we don't really need to decorate unless we want to just put a tag on there. We have this we could decorate or leave as is and just write around it right here. And right here, you can write on that if you want. You can add some lace right there or on the edge, which we might do on the edge because it would be, I have mauve. Oh yeah, this is old, very old. This is vintage all the way. Yeah, this is vintage. Early 70s. Try not to cut a finger. How much do I need? I need a little more. And then what I do is I keep this little bit and I tie it on cards, tags, as a you know, tag top. Okay, I'm going to actually turn it this way and go that way, maybe. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. We'll see. But let me get the length. Okay, I want it to here. Maybe when I do the tags, I'll want to use this. So what I'll do is I'll cut that off and set it over here. And yeah, I mean, I've wound what's left of it onto a little cardboard piece. This is my original way when I first set up my studio here for paper crafting. That was one of my first laces I pulled out of my old stash, my very old stash. And it's got some stuff I don't want. Clean that up a little bit. It's a little ragged. I don't mind a little. And then I'm going to stretch and pull it a bit and try to decide if I want the straight edge on the outside or I want it on the inside, or is it just too much? I don't know. It might be too much. Seems like a little much. Unless I go over the edge and that puts some on the back. That might not be bad. I don't mind that so much. Okay, well, and how you do that is you flatten it. So when you're putting your laces on, let's make sure you flatten it when you put your lace on. Don't leave it folded closed. You will not be happy with the pucker that you get in the middle. Oh, this did not glue. Did we get it? Oh my God, I didn't get this one down here either. I'm terrible at edges. There we go. What about that one? That one? Okay. Yeah. Might as well do that while I'm getting myself together. And I gotta remember I have nail polish on because this has acetone in it and it will eat your nail polish. So I had to put it on. My nails were peeling so bad. I scratched my back and a bunch of nails broke. It's ridiculous. So it was time to put some nail polish back on and let them get strong again. I just want a little on this side, not a lot. And this is the time to use your wipe again, or you can use a bone folder, or I am so used to using my fingers for everything. Goodness gracious. Now, if you do get clear glue and it shows and it's shiny, if you dab it with the cloth, that will help break down some of that shiny. Okay, I'm going to need something smaller to cut this. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna let that dry a minute because I do not want it to, gosh, you guys, do you see? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pair of scissors, 5 pair of scissors on my desk. You know we're crafting and having a good time when you see that many pair of scissors on my desk. I really don't need this many scissors. This is nuts. Let's just keep 1 or 2 out, huh? I really want to burnish it down the middle to make sure we don't get that pucker. Okay. There we go. I am loving this. So when we close it, this is what we're going to see, okay? But when you open it again, if that you didn't get enough glue in there, it will pucker like crazy. Now I can use 2 kinds of glue if I want. If I need a finer tip, I can use the art glitter glue. Is that even coming out? I think it is. Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. I made a mess. Yes, it did. And then it kind of put a little pink on the other side, which was nice, I think, over here, just to decorate it up a bit. I mean, we could put a belly band here, but either way, it still makes it, you know, so you can put something in there. That was the whole point. And then you have room there. So you've got 2 pockets right in this one little goodie. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Now what? Well, good question. Let's see what time we're at. Are we kind of done? I've been making really long videos. You guys aren't complaining about it, but yeah, let me. I'm thinking that I could put pearls here. You guys want to do pearls with me? Let's do flat back pearls. We sell these pearls in our shop. These here, right here. These are perfect for this. There's a lot of different. Those might be too big, but the next size down is working really well. So, you know, there's a bunch of, you have from baby to large. So if you just want a few pearls to play with and you don't want to invest in a gazillion of them like I do, then I have a different kind I'm going to use here for me. Now I can use, Fabri-Tac or art glitter glue. Both work very well to put pearls on. Oh gosh, that was like too much. I want to put a little drop of glue on a few, and you let that glue start to harden up just a bit. And I hope I've got a good size. This may be not big enough. Oh no, it is. It is, it is. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully my head is not in the camera. Let me, come on you. Let me get this right. Okay. Maybe do 3 at a time. You want it to set up just a bit. There is some sticky on the back of these pearls, so between that and the art glitter glue, it does, these are just a tiny bit too big. Should have done the next size down. Oh well. What I'll do is I'll just put them where I want to put them. I won't make them match exactly. I'll just do my own thing here. And then I could take a much smaller one and put it at the end there. Whoop. Well, it hasn't set yet. You can move it around. Okay, so we've got our first, you see what I'm doing? She's also got pearls up there. So we're doing the same thing here. Hopefully this isn't too tedious for you to watch. I always run out of this size first because this is the size I use a lot of. I have a bunch of different kinds of pearls, of course, because I do this all day long. This little bracelet I'm wearing is very vintage. I got it at a thrift shop. It's pretty much 80s, I think. Which nowadays is considered vintage. I told my daughter, honey, do you realize you're vintage and I'm antique? She started laughing. She goes, Mom, that's not funny. I said, no, it's real. You were born in the 80s. You were born in 1980. Yeah, it will move around a little bit. Kind of why I like the glue to get a bit tacky before I put the pearls on, so they don't slide so much. Yep, get back on there. I use my pick a lot. I love this pick. I want to make some of those really pretty picks. I have all the stuff to make them. I just need to make them. I have so much stuff to make, you guys. Oh my gosh. I have journal covers, which you've all requested. I got to get to those maybe next. I need to finish these. This is the last of the design team projects I'm going to do for a little bit, hopefully. And guest design. I'm not on the teams. I'm just a guest. Although the amount of work I do, you think I was on the team, the amount of times I do the kits, but I just love the kits. But I'm not required to. They're wonderful. They understand that there's just going to be times I cannot. And I'm really getting on to the I cannot because I am getting to where I have so many journals to finish. It's becoming overwhelming and people are waiting for them. And I appreciate each and every one of you who has said you have interest in a journal, and I've warned you. I don't know, because you're always doing videos, and now that I've cut back on my videos, if I'm not doing guest design, then I'm going to try to finish up all my unfinished journals. It's time. Okay, so we have that up there. Now, I'm thinking I might put a little jewel there, and then I'll use probably some, do some stickles. I don't know what color I'm going to use yet, but I'll figure it out. And let me put those away. Okay. Could have used pink pearls, but that was showing white, so what you see is I start doing dimension, I start doing sparkles, I start adding things, and that gives us a pretty little cover. And what will happen with this one is, this is a writing piece that we've created, right? So, sorry, I need to get that so it doesn't stick. And this is full of glue, so I've got a wet one here because this is totally glued up. There we go. All right. If I don't take that off, I lose the sharpness of my poker. And then when I go to do something again, it doesn't work at all. All right. So that is today's little project, and that is actually going to go in either, I'm not sure, depends what else I add to it. It's either going to go in there. Nope. I think it's going to go up here. It may be tall, but that's all right. I don't mind if it sticks up because see, it goes with everything. So that'll let me know that maybe up here I want to put some pretty lace in here. That way if it shows it's standing up above here and it'll blend in with, you know, or I decide to cut it down, which I don't think I want to cut it down. I don't think I do. I like the height of this. It is journal height and it's perfect to be sewed in. You could just add pages to this and make this a journal cover. So this would be an awesome journal cover. You could make a journal out of this very easily. I could do that. Maybe I will. I don't know. So I still have more to do here, but I wanted to come on. This is what I was working on, and I thought, well, I would come on and show you what I was making. I don't know. Should we do anything else? We go over and do one more thing, or, well, we're at an hour. So I don't know. What do you think? I wish you could tell me, yeah, keep going, or no, don't. I will tell you, I printed these tags. I'll show you a trick with the tags. That might be okay to do because it doesn't take too long, hopefully. We'll see. There's a trick with these tags. Now, I don't know what I want to, maybe these are the scissors I might want. I'm going to leave that there for you to look at. These are the coolest tags. What I'm going to do with these tags is I am not going to cut them apart. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Now this has a nice beige line around it, so if you don't get as close as you would like, it's not a sharp, bright, white, awful line as long as you stay in the beige. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch to my tiny scissors in a minute. Since I'm working on all of this, I'm only going to go to there. I'm not going to cut them apart. Okay, so what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to cut straight across the bottom to start. Okay, so we've done that, and you can see we've got that on the back. And I feel like those are going to be too big for what I'm doing here. Now I'm getting into the more intricate fussy cutting, which my little scissors are perfect for that. I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to test a pen on that. Let me see. Oh yeah, this is just a regular pen, and you can see the word, I wrote the word mom. I didn't do anything here because I might want to cut butterflies out of that, but you can write on this paper very well. Yeah, so you can just write on it. Yeah, so pen works great on this print. So no problems writing on that. There's going to be no problems writing your stuff on that. And it shouldn't be distracting. A lot of times I don't like that when there's a print on the back because, you know, they say, oh, you can write on it. But I find that it distracts my eye. And it's hard to read later if you wanted to reread what you wrote. If you don't care, you're just like dumping info in there and you're not going to ever go back and maybe look at it again. It's no biggie then, right? But if it's something you want to show others or it's a piece you're going to use as a memory piece, then you might want to make sure that the background is not too, doesn't have too much print on it. To each their own though, you know, everybody has what they like, and that's going to be a lot to use those tiny little scissors down the side. I'm going to show you something. This is fun. You'll notice I have not cut these tags apart. It is printed on the back. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to cut this up to a point. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to come back down the other side. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go around. I'm going to cut. This should be obvious, but maybe not. If you're new, maybe you've never thought to do this with a set of tags that you see that you've purchased. These are really big, so they're perfect. So these, I'm throwing away all this stuff I don't need. These have made us a booklet. So what I'm going to do with this booklet is I'm going to take my bone folder and a ruler, and I'm going to burnish it right in the, I'm going to score it right in the middle of this line right here, if I can. Oh, that ruler I noticed has a bend, it has a broken spot in it, so I'm not getting a straight line there. All right, and then you're just going to fold it, and you're making a tri-fold booklet. Isn't that pretty, right? Then you're saying, well, it doesn't all match at the bottom. You can trim it to match if you want. The tops don't have to match. They can. You could trim them all to match, or you can leave them uneven, or you could fold that one in on that one, and you know, you could trim them all up if you want, but I kind of like them the way they are. The bottom, though, bothers me, so I will take and I will kind of trim this up a bit, right? Okay, so yeah, that's all right. That works out okay. I don't mind that. And then you can take and ink it. And I would ink these edges where it's sort of creamy, and I would use Distress Ink, the Vintage Photo, to kind of match everything else. And get it. And what I would do is I would add pockets to this. This is a 48-pound printer paper, so it's not super heavy and it's not super light. It's just right. And you could put lace on the edge of each of these. And if I decorate this all up and I do anything fancy with it, I will come back and show you, you know, what I've chosen to do with it. It's good to get all of your little lines and all your little creases to get rid of all those white marks from when you cut it. Then you could, of course, go to the inside and do the same thing, you know. But what I would do with this is I would add pockets and a belly band, and so I'd add like a pocket, a belly band, and a side tuck to this. And then you fill it up with cards and tags and whatever ephemera you want to use. So you're making another little folio out of some tags, a folio tag book. So isn't that pretty? And you can add a main thing. You could add a tag there, a strip of a tag. You could add whatever you want. And, you know, I think that would be wonderful. Oh my gosh, we've got stuff everywhere, guys. Oh, the good thing. Oh. All right. So this is what we worked on today, which is a pretty good little project, I think. I'm pretty happy with it. Yes, I am cleaning up because I've got more work to do, and that was going to be in my way. I didn't get to the laces yet. I will probably use some lace across the bottom or down the side. I don't know. You know, I thought I was going to use lace on here, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. I've got some really pretty, I've got pink lace that could go on there. I've got some sort of brown lace. So, I mean, I'm not done. I mean, this is the beginning. It's as far as I could get in a video, but I wanted to show you the project that I'm working on, the new project I'm working on for the paper cameo. And it is called Tea Rose. And then I'm also using Decadence, Romance, and the tags. So if you want to do the same with me, just, you know, go ahead and do that. So you've got a wonderful little tag book that you can use. Kind of like it that way. And, you know, so, and this would definitely be able to go either in here or up in one of the pockets, you know. And then I will probably use the regular tags and decorate them all up too, because I want to fill this up full of goodies, right? The goal is for me to fill this, but I really wanted to show you, you know, how we were starting this little project and what we were doing with it, right? So let me put this over here, and we'll put this over here. Oh, there you have it. So happy Tuesday, guys. Let me know in this video if you want to see a Christmas in July Saturday video, because I have 4. I won't do all 4 projects because that took them 3 hours, but I would do a couple, and so you could see what, especially if you own a lot of Tim Holtz ephemera, and you know, you've got a lot of his stuff, I think you would really enjoy it. And it's actually Christmas collaging. So if you're into collage, or you want to learn to do collage, or you're happy about collage, then that's what I would do on the Saturday video. If you're interested, if you're not, let me know. Then I'll just go ahead and make my pieces by myself and show them to you when I'm done. Okay, guys, well, you have a wonderful week, and I will see you all very soon. I love you guys. Hugs and kisses. Mwah. Bye-bye.